John in London, hello. It's 14th of August 2009. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. My substance was alcohol, my behaviour, trying to be perfect, working hard for 35 years, and always trying to be perfect, never so. So if I wasn't drinking, I was working. If I wasn't drinking and working, I was in the gym. If I wasn't drinking, working and in the gym, I'd be out with a girlfriend. If I wasn't doing that, I'd be doing something else, to the point of perfection, or trying to be as perfect as possible. So you would see me as worthy of your company. And the great gift I've realised these days is that I don't need to be in the company of people who just get drunk all the time, or need drink, or they are dependent on drink to make their lives work. So happy or sad, just as life is today, seems a lot better now I don't look at it through the bottom of a glass. And believe you me, anybody who's got addicted to any substance or behaviour will probably understand what I'm talking about. But if you're not addicted to any particular substance or behaviour, then please switch off, unless you have a burning desire to find out what we do to keep sober these days. So for me, what keeps me sober is being included in family, community, society and a fellowship. And the fellowship for me is Alcoholics Anonymous. I cannot speak for it, nor would I ever choose to, and I would not want to speak for people in AA, because they're unique, authentic people, and they can choose where they share and how their life works. So why do I say that? Simply because it's important that I just share my message of experience, strength and hope, and what I do to keep sober. I can mention that I go to AA, which is perfectly okay by me. Might not be by some other people, but that's just what we do. We choose the path which suits us best. And I'm not afraid to say that many people who go to AA don't always make it, or they go off and find something else which works for them. So AA, as Bill Wilson, one of the co-founders, said, is not the only way. And we need to be open and aware that AA may be not everybody's cup of tea, but it works for me, and we provide tea for each other and coffee. And in the fancy meetings, probably some biscuits or cakes, you name it. As long as we're not drinking on a daily basis, we try and make life work, and that's the gift. So fellowship, AA fellowship, I don't speak for it, but because it is full of unique, authentic people. And there's a Tradition 11 which talks about anonymity being the spiritual foundation, or rather Tradition 12 says that. But for me, truth is my spiritual path. And if I didn't share what was making life work for me, what would be the point? So there is a point to this. It can be as egotistical to hide behind anonymity as it is to not hide behind it, and we have to know where we're coming from as a person, as an individual, when we share experience, strength and hope around recovery. So this is for my benefit. It helps me focus on the day, and also to share what works for me, and AA does work for me, and I'm very grateful for that. So when I go to meetings of the fellowship, there is a statement shared at the beginning called the AA preamble, and it's all about the 12 steps and 12 traditions of the fellowship. 12 steps of action for people, open, honest and willing in our outlook, and 12 traditions which are all about unity, service and recovery. So what has often been said is the steps stop us from committing homicide. Is that right? Probably. It doesn't matter, forget that. That's just an old joke. I'll come back to it one day when I remember it. So AA is important to me, and to many other people as well. So I cherish the fellowship greatly, and without it I would have come unstuck. But we all have our own outlook. So this preamble is shared at every meeting for those who do not know it, or if you know it well, you know what is coming, and it's part of my mantra in the morning. It helps me keep going a day at a time, sober. AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. It does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And I didn't get to a meeting yesterday simply because I had an upset tummy. So I wasn't able to move very far from home, and not without putting myself in great discomfort. But it's good. I know what it feels like when I'm missing a meeting. I miss the people. Most definitely. I miss the camaraderie and the inclusion. So isolating isn't for me these days, although when I get depression, isolation and staying in bed would be preferred, and probably not waking up again. So, what keeps me sober? The fellowship and being involved. And literature like this, the Daily Reflections, which covers one of the 12 steps every month. And August is all about step 8, how to make a list of amends, and being willing to make those amends to people we have harmed. And this reading for August 14th says, repairing the damage. We attempt to sweep away the debris which has accumulated out of our effort to live on self-will and run the show ourselves. In other words, do it our way. If we haven't the will to do this, we ask until it comes. Remember, it was agreed at the beginning that we would go to any lengths for victory over alcohol. And if you're living on the streets, or you're looking up from the gutter and judging people like I did, going to any lengths to get sobriety means that following a well-trodden path of what people understand to help in sobriety. So I got that message, and sticking with it, because I've got a lot more in besides, which is to understand my emotional, spiritual and physical well-being. I'm going on a bit here, but anyway, it says, following on from that statement, making a list of people I had harmed was not a particularly difficult thing to do. They had showed up in my 4th step inventory. That's step 4, all about moral inventory we do. People towards whom I had resentments, real or imagined, and whom I'd hurt by acts of retaliation. For my recovery to be thorough, I believed it was not important for those who had legitimately harmed me to make amends to me. What is important in my relationship with God is that I stand before Him, knowing how I have done what I can to repair the damage I have done. So in other words, we have to sweep our side of the street clean and get an idea of what will work for us and what won't work for us. And making a list of amends to make is not actually getting our point across and then trying to get another person to say they were sorry as well. It's about owning our own stuff and what we did. And on page 176 of As Bill Sees It, you can read as many of these as you like, and it comes out with the same thing, really, trying to keep our emotional, spiritual and physical balance as best it can be in the day. It says, domination and demand. The primary fact that we fail to recognise is our total inability to form a true partnership with another human being. Our egomania digs 2 disastrous pitfalls. Either we insist upon dominating the people we know, or we depend upon them far too much. If we lean too heavily on people, they will sooner or later fail us, for they are human too, and cannot possibly meet our incessant demands. In this way, our insecurity grows and festers. When we habitually try to manipulate others to our own willful desires, they revolt and resist us heavily. Then we develop hurt feelings, a sense of persecution, and a desire to retaliate. And I suppose you could sum that up as paranoia. Either people will not cooperate because we want something, or they shun us because what we're suggesting is not worth it from their point of view. And some people call it codependence. But for me today, it's a nice day. It's a belly button birthday for me, and I'm still alive, much to my surprise. So when I say the serenity prayer to God or good conscience or a higher power that I've come to understand, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference is simply just for today.